Astro, why I made like this thing, because this is my version of the season 1 of the Let's Go challenge. So I try to explain to you guys why I chose to build this on Astro, because it's made on Astro. Back to the presentation. What the fuck is Astro? So, Astro is a content-driven, all-in-one framework. So, a phrase a bit weird, but the purpose of us to, so we work with HTML, CSS, and JS. There is like a lot of trends for the past like 10 years. There have been a lot of things like PHP, people like hate PHP now. There is like there is like backend now and frontend. At some point there was like no difference. There is a lot of things going on. There is like React, which is the most popular library because React is not a framework. If you want to work with React, you have one choice to choose the Next.js Meta framework. Meta because they force you to use one way to do things, so you can focus on your feature. But you don't need to you are not obligated to use Next. The other complement of Next is Next, but if you work with React, you can use Remix. And it started to be like a bit of a mess. You have like 20 tools to do the same thing. So Astro is, why I chose Astro, because when I started to do the challenges, Victor asked to stay with vanilla JavaScript, vanilla CSS, and HTML. But I have to say it was a bit complicated to do because you lose a lot of time writing everything yourself. But I was like, okay. I have like several challenges. I have some challenges I did with Svelte, other ones I did with React. And I wanted to have one tool to put everything, so that's why I chose Astro. So basically, Astro gives you will host an Astro project on a server, but it will be built, it will be deployed, completely compressed. You will be able to load like static website. Every time you will load the page. If I go back to this is a static website. So there is no like front end, a single page application running on a server. It's just loading like a static page. And Astro has one particularity. It's based on an architecture that is called Island. So it's weird because it's Astro with a lot of astronauts everywhere, but we go to Island instead of planets. I don't know why, but it's called like Island architecture. I don't know why they call it like that way, but it's an Island architecture. So I will try to explain the Island architecture just a bit later in a few minutes. I just want to show you guys. So most of the challenges was not like required to have animations, interactions. But some of them, like the memory game, this one, the color challenge game, or the tic-tac-toe game. So the tic-tac-toe, I already made that one because when you go to the React webpage, the first tutorial is the tic-tac-toe game. But for me, the tic-tac-toe game on React is horrible. It's like the process is super stupid. So I built this one with Svelte. Maybe I can show you like the code. So you can see that we have like our data, Astro, blah blah blah. And at some point you will be able to see that. How can I show that? I have my Svelte generated classes. So the whole thing is like a Svelte component. Loaded, imported in Astro. I'm not sure if I have other one to show, but you basically get the point. So if I click, I could have done that with just JS, but maybe with 10 times more lines of code. And Svelte offers me like a structure to do things, to do the calculation, because you will calculate. Basically, for this game, I calculate the rows, the diagonals, and the lines. No, the columns, the rows, and the diagonal. It was easier to do with Svelte, but I could have done it with raw CSS. The only thing you have to keep in mind, if you use like React, if you use Svelte, Solid, and everything, you are still every time doing JavaScript, even TypeScript. There is like no TypeScript running on any clients. It's always like JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. So I found this little joke on Twitter, and I thought it was it's my point of view of Astro today, because now you can use a lot of things. And I work with Next, I work with Next a little bit. I take a look at Solid. For me, Solid should be like more popular, but I can't understand why it's that unpopular now. You have Svelte, which is like a very innovative, but at some points having too many choice kill a bit the luxury to have a choice. And a lot of people feel like Astro is a good way to start, because it's easy to deal with. Let's say you are used to you work with React. You have one React library, and you saw like there is like something fancy with you. You can have both on the same web page on your Astro website. So you can accumulate all the benefits of having one on another technologies. So the island architecture. This is a web page. All the blank or the gray zones are static HTML, so you just load like HTML dressed with CSS and with a little bit of JavaScript. But you can say like, okay, I have an header, my header will be working with React. I have a carousel, which the best carousel library I found is on Vue, so you can like mix them. So you basically load a static page, and you have like slots. So this is a definition from the guys that made the React. It's like a static page with slots with dynamic content inside. Basically, the island architecture, to make it simple. So yes, it supports different kind of technology. So it's UI agnostic. That's the term. And you can also with Astro, because there is like 10 library components library you can use, but they decided to add another one, so they added like you can do like Astro components. So you don't need to learn React, you don't need to learn Svelte, Vue, and anything. You can just like do the same thing. You have components with props, with on the .astro, how do you say, like a suffix, an extension? Extension. Yes. And this architecture is like 95% the reason of why Astro is that fast, because it's really fast to load. Because it's simple, it's just loading like raw HTML. Okay. Why to choose Astro? When, let's say, when you can say, okay, I need something to work, I need something simple to work, I need to be fast, I need to ship fast. But you can do like anything with Astro, because you can send static websites, you can send like progressive web apps, you can send like server-side rendered apps. But I think Astro is ideal for blogs, for portfolio. We speak a lot of portfolio here. And maybe on landing page, you just need a beautiful landing page that load quicker and that need like one CTA. Astro will be perfect for that. And it's still a multi-page application because like for the past 5 years we was like focused on a single page app every day, but you don't need to build everything on a single page application. So by default you will get like a multi-page application, multi-page approach, which is simple and fast. The cool features I found on the documentation are like so it's based on the content. So you can use Markdown, MDX, which allows you to like mix markdowns and XML syntax, so HTML. You have like an official and some community integration that will like maybe like when you build a website you have like needs, but like thousands of people that share the same needs, so they will like put integration on a marketplace, like maybe like a bit like WordPress. We was talking about WordPress earlier. So maybe like WordPress, you can go to the marketplace and get like, okay, I need this, I need like internationalization. I will not code the whole thing myself. I will get integration for that, and like maybe in one afternoon or 1 week we will be able to do like things like twice faster than going from A to Z. And you have like a theme marketplace with paid and free theme to use. So on the last version of Astro, they support React 19. So I think it's a good use case. Let's say you want to play with React 19. Maybe you don't need to like to read all the documentation for, because I don't know if Next propose like to use 19 yet.
Yes.
Yes. On the next 15.
It's like it's still early, but you can have just like preview. You gotta already see it like that.
Okay. But good to know you can do this as well in Astro, and I think they will discuss it on next Tuesday, because they released this 2 days ago, the 4.8. They are also working on the AstroDB. It's like if you guys know like Supabase.
It's
maybe it's a lot of companies are like building like no-code databases to work with their front-end tools.
It's a Firebase wrapper.
It's a Firebase wrapper?
Yeah.
Looks like a Firebase wrapper. Exactly. But I think they will try to like to market and to get like a business model around this. And I chose to discuss about Astro and JSAP because I learned about Astro for the view transition API. So basically, the view transition API is like a thing that arrives as a draft. It's developed by Google's team. Basically, when you have like, you can do transition on a web page. You have loaded your web page, you can do like a lot of transition inside. But if you want to switch from page A to page B, you will have to load a new page. Sometimes you will lose. Sometimes you will lose every time the states. You can like say I have page A. I get like elements in the local storage or cookie storage or what you want, or even a database. And when you will be on the page B, you will load again the data to work with that. But the view transition module is a proposition that I think will be available by the end of this year, because it has been on draft on March. So basically, this allows you to do like animation a little bit easier, because if you know to use JSAP, you can just use the tool. There's a lot of things you can do, like flip. You can use a lot of techniques, but this will allows you to work natively, to have like more room to work natively with animation without having to load something. So Astro offers you, because if you take a look, The view transition API on caniuse.com shows that you can, it's available on Chrome and Edge, but of course, it's always a nightmare to work with the other browsers. So on Safari and Firefox you can't. But seems like Astro found a way to add a polyfill to be able to use the view transition. In Astro you can use the view transition anywhere and on any browser. And to go further, because you can with view transition you can do some stuff, but the goat of libraries for web animation is still JSAP. So GreenSock animation platform. So I will show you how I set it an Astro project and how I extend it with a little bit of GreenSock. And the ad moment. If you want to learn more about animation, you know where to get the best curves from the from our champion. Just go. I put it like a little bit of a little QR code. So I think it's a good course to go further with JSAP. For the presentation, I chose to use the scroll trigger. So with just this little line of code, I can load a blog and put an effect that look like lazy loading for paragraph. So I will show that now, if it works, because every time on demo mode it's a bit complicated. So this is an Astro blog. When you work with Astro, you can create a project. But from a template, there is at least I think 50 templates. You just create the thing. Can I show that here? I can say create Astro, and I don't have example, but you can do templates and add a new URL with a template. From scratch, if I go here and I create a new project, so I will do boom. So Houston is the mascot of Astro. So you will see this little bot everywhere. By default, it will create a project with how do we call that? A fake name. You can say, I want to include sample files. I want it empty because I know how to use it, or I want the blog boilerplate. I want TypeScript. I want to use script. Install dependencies, and you can set the project like this, and you will be able to have this. So this is the starting point. If you want to work with Astro, for me the best advice is to open the blog, take a look at the files, because you can see the structure. You can have all the structure. You have the content. So you will see, I think I already showed that slide. You can put type safety on your content. So the content will look like this. You can either use the database, but you can use directly, if you have a blog, you can just write on the blog like that using Markdown.
Okay, I have a question, sorry. This Markdown, they're content of the post.
Yes.
Are they working right now as a database, as a data, or they are actually how the template is marking the structure?
I don't get your question. Can you
Okay, so for example, is you the page that you're using right now? Astro,
this one,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that the markdown?
Yep.
Or that is actually they're just fetching the text from the markdown? So they use the markdown as as a component.
So if you see the component, there's pages. There was another page. They have this page. You can have, depending on the framework, you have routes, and the MDX is a file. and then when you go to that page, it will load the MDX. And like when you build it, it builds statically. There's no like database. But in theory, you can probably have it in a database. But in the current state of this application, it's built
Astro gonna
statically.
transform the markdown into like
HTML.
Yes,
HTML.
in the static page.
Oh,
So this
okay.
is running locally. This is my local host. But
That is
you
interesting.
can like do like npm run dev. You will be able to see if I do like a modification. Which page is it? Okay, the second one. I go to my blog. The second one, I can see my modification here.
Okay, can you show me like the template for like this page on Astro?
The templates.
Yeah, they do have like a template that like is fetching this information. So how you're connecting the markdown with the Astro, like with the Astro like ecosystem.
Do you see blog in the file system?
Yes.
That's like where in the file structure, when you go in the URL in the browser, it will open that page in the browser. It will fetch
so
it locally.
like by default they're gonna understand like
Yeah.
the markdown should be like transforming HTML. Then.
Yes.
So but where is this configuration?
Um,
So you have the configuration for the content here, but I think by default you have like
it's like a plugin you put in your, because certain framework, maybe Astro does it by default. Like you understand MDX what it is, and it will do the transformation for you and convert it to
Okay,
HTML.
so basically depends on which folder are you searching your content.
It
at.
depends like implementation of few
Okay,
things, but
yeah, I'm just trying to understand that. Okay,
It's always in the blog folder.
It's
It's
fine,
code
but
base
it's-
and it's all by default.
okay.
here you can say you have like the blog index. So here my blog index is here, but you have like
It's
a
a-
page.
it's a catch.
URL.
That's a, like when you see dot dot dot, it's like a catch all. But in that case, logs is like you put in there the name,
Yes.
and the like the name there. That's where you fetch the MDX or with the name.
If you take a look, so this page about. Okay, I changed it. But normally before I change this, maybe I can see. Okay, it was the about page was like loading the blog post layout. I didn't change it. I don't know why I changed it. Maybe for to play with animation, but the about page was using the same layout as
Yeah.
the post this one. Here you say okay, get my slug. Regarding the slug, get my post, and then put the post, send the content here. But if you do like package build and then package preview, you will be able to see the render, the HTML. So normally when you ship your disk, this folder in your server, there's like no markdown left, just HTML page.
Like if by default, like you see the Astro.js MDX, if you remove that, you will no longer be able to like render MDX.
Okay.
Which one?
The Astro MDX.
The line 13.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
yes, yes,
and also
yes.
before, like the content, if you were to remove that, there no longer will be content on the page. Like your blog won't be there anymore.
Okay, back to the slides. Okay, so I will show that. What is this? Okay. Let's get here. Okay, I use like 25 minutes, but we still have time to.
No, you have like all the time of the world. You're not leaving anywhere. I want you to get yours.
Okay. So for the view transition, so you have like Astro transition. You can load a view transition components. You put this. So I put this in my header. So I have all my metadata here. I put this here, and you can say, okay, I have like static pages, but maybe I want to add like animation between the pages. So you will switch from page A to page B. You want it to be like a little bit fancy, to slide from left to right. or maybe appearing like with fade transition, you just need to put this little tag. So on main, I just added the transition animate. I just made sure that I had transition node because it will have moved the whole thing. So here, this animation, I don't have animation here, but here, it's made with the view transition new features, basically. So you can like maybe unload, maybe if you like play with some forms, you can like a lot of animations without having to use any third-party library.
Okay, like, can you go back to your code? So this animation is live, so where do you set the animation?
Slide?
Yeah.
It's by default. It's
So this is the default like from Astro?
Yes.
Okay.
You have like a slide and maybe fade. If I want to do like an example, let's say for the about page, I will do fade. And if I, oh shit, what happened? Okay. If I go, so I reload. If I go to about, you see, we lose like the slide animation to a fade one. Maybe the fade is like a little bit too fast, but there is definitely a fade.
Yeah, sure.
Can you modify that to have it like slower?
Yes, so I tried this. What was the name of the file? Just let me see. If I go here, I tried to add a custom one. Yes, this is that one. Slide back. But this is oh, okay. The name is stupid because basically, if you want to have like a custom or modify the slide or the fading with like a duration and everything, you will create an anim object and add a forward and a backward element.
Okay.
And this, so the name is wrong because it's a fade in, a fade out animation. But basically, you get this here and you put where is it? Instead of slide here, I can do this and slide back. And basically, you can modify it like this. There is like easing. You can use easing. You can use. I don't remember the other API, but basically that's how you can extend the default behavior. But I have to say I need to play more with it. Normally, either I stick to the basic one because it do like a little bit of a job, or going straight to the real thing using GSAP. So for the GSAP, what I wanted to show is that before we had like all the second page things with optimization, architecture, and everything, we was like loading our CSS, loading our content, and then if we wanted to add like something else, jQuery or anything, we will like go to the footer and import like jQuery, import like a library for jQuery, sort of like calendar or date picker or thing like this. So I try to do the same here. I have my footer, which is a component, which is load on layouts or maybe on pages. And on this footer, I just added a script, imported GSAP. I imported a scroll trigger. So basically set the thing like in the GSAP documentation. And I just added like, if I scroll on all child element that is in the container, go from a state of opacity 0 and a little bit on top to your, no, a little bit down to your normal places and with opacity 1. So it looks like this. You have like a little bit of lazy loading. So this is GSAP mixed with view transition. that's it.
That was awesome. I have so many questions.
Yes, please.
Okay, so well, I mean, anybody want to ask something?
I have a question. You can go after.
No, go first.
Well, awesome presentation, man. Thank you. Well, I was curious. So, in terms of interacting, like we do with like interacting with the DOM, like basically it happens, you know. It's more similar to like interacting with like React and Next framework, right? Like so we do it through like components, which is called what's called islands.
Yes.
Right?
But basically in this case, like Astro, like by default, like when you first load your page, it's like static HTML, and you can add the JavaScript.
Yeah.
By default, there's no JavaScript. So when you try to do JavaScript things, and now you will like actually do like raw dog JavaScript. There's no like really nice thing that you can interact with. So you can create like they have some nice things like for loops for making lists, but this will like this will run on the server and on the client, so there will be no bundle like JavaScript.
It's on build time, not
Yeah,
on
build
runtime.
time.
Yes.
On the build time, we build the whole HTML.
So when you want to do interaction within the JavaScript land, you will still have like the same behavior as we all love to using a document.iv whatever. So that's when the library comes from, like the library he said before. That's where it becomes easier and then to build like more robust solution in the end.
Because basically React was popular or was a thing because of the virtual DOM. But at the end we saw that the virtual DOM is our biggest nightmare. It was supposed to be a good thing, but it's a bad thing. I think that's why Solid is exists, or Solid or
Solid is like the implementation, like because like Solid is like trying to take everything from everyone and then build a solution that will last for something good. That they're trying to do that, but even with Solid Start, they're trying to do so.
But you don't have the virtual DOM, and so the Solid.
Yeah, but also there's like one concept you gotta think is that React was at a time where the DOM was slower, and then Solid was created after that. And also there's the signal thing that are much different mindset when you implement them.
But basically React is not supposed, React and JSX are not the same thing, because here I can like use, I love to build all my things when I work on the pen, I use Pug. When you can like compile Pug. Here I think you can't do Pug with Astro, but you can do JSX. So basically you can use JSX as a templating system. So maybe it looks like React, but it's not. It's way different than React, because you can use React without JSX, but with the virtual.
Yeah.
If you have like an island with React, you will have a virtual DOM inside the island. If you use like other things, if you look like Svelte or any other different thing, you will have a context for that library, for that behavior. You can like have a different behavior, but you just need to think that when you have compiled, when you have one npm build on Astro, it will give you by default, because you can change it, but by default it will give you a static website. So just HTML load without JavaScript.
That's why it's so fast. Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because it's simple, it's look like what we used to do at the beginning, without a lot of over-engineering solution.
No, we have other things like there's other kids in the block like Quick that also ship no JavaScript, so they have no loading. So there is option that does the same thing as them.
Yes.
So we gotta pronounce their name. We gotta not just shy them away. They're still there.
But the thing is that Quick is like the seventh of the ninth options.
No, but I actually did do my portfolio in Quick before I did Astro, and I said, why not just like use Quick? Like it's the same syntax as React and have Signal, and I was like, tried it and it works. So I was like, I learned another framework, just for fun,
Yes, for fun.
So you guys see this becoming more like an industry standard? Like
This one,
sooner
I think,
rather than
Yeah,
React,
this
like-
one
Because this is now Facebook.
So the thing
behind
is
it,
that,
right? So-
just last point. So it's a tool. It comes with documentation.
Really good docs that
Yes.
you gotta like emphasize that the people behind them they really like their docs and they want like you can go in there and they have like deploy like tutorial. You have like there's even like step-by-step thing and progression, you know.
Big community.
Yeah, it's a big community and
Because
their Discord prove it. So
If you take a look, Vue.js gets popular because you had like React with a very shitty documentation back in time, and Angular, which was even worse. So Vue was like, okay, you can do the same thing, but with good documentation, good community. I think Astro provides this. So if you take a look, if you are used to see my screen, you saw that I changed my theme. So this theme provided by Astro, and you have this little funny bot here. So the thing is that if I do like mistakes, if I write something here, so basically what they do is like they look at your problems in the VS Code, and if you add problems, it will start to cry. It makes a lot of, and I think this is fun because you are doing like one job. Okay, you are doing one job. You are like alone on your computers. We could like work without having like themes and. There is also, I think, there is a linter extension. Yes, if you get a look here, all the Astro files are served by formatted by the Astro VS Code extension. So you start to work, you need a project to do, but you get like a box full of toys to play on the same architecture.
So you have it's just like all the tools that you expect from like a good framework. Astro provides it, even though it's a different breed of framework.
Because the problem with the other popular libraries like React is like you get React. Okay, React is awesome, but okay, I need to fetch, I need a router, I need a state management, and you can lose yourself going on this path. Okay, this path is not the fastest path. Okay, I will switch back. Here you just get like one tool, one CLI, you just enter the thing, you get like templates, you can just work with, and I think this one will stay because it's not solid now, it's complete now, I think.
You have good primitive. That I think with the island architecture also it's a great way to start because
Yeah, I guess they're back, but Vercel somehow, I guess they're Vercel mounting.
That's sick. Well, Vercel is behind Next.js.
yes they are.
Yes.
It's
But-
heavily influenced in their documentation also.
Yeah.
Like recently their documentation, if you try to deploy it, you're like a static build, but they don't show like how to deploy to serverless setting. But it's kind of funny that they don't show, you know, like oh Vercel is here.
Yes. So yes, if you want to I think that's the first tool I would have advised to myself if I was like starting from scratch today. Before working with React and all the thing, I would have just get the basis with JavaScript and CSS. Start to work with that. Maybe like try one template, 2 templates, 3 templates. Just get a look at how they do the job. Okay, you need like React for this formula. You need like a view for this carousel thing. Okay, start to mix things and be able to ship because I think the default architecture is already fast, so you will not have like to do half the job is building a feature, and the other half is like optimizing thing because it's too slow. So I think this one will stay, and I can't wait to see what they will discuss about on Thursday.
Yep. Well, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
I have a question.